Okay. Without effective communication, a job in psychology would become needlessly difficult. I'm participating in a communications class at college level, and I've researched my options and requirements to work in the psychological field. Communication is a crucial factor in many, if not all, aspects of a job in psychology. It's beneficial to personal and professional aspects of the job. I will go over the definition of communications, the definition of psychology, the benefits of certain types of communication in specific fields of psychology, and the benefit versus the requirement of additional communication courses. To start, I'll go over the definition of communications. According to Merriam-Webster, the definition of communication can be defined as the sharing of information between two individuals through a common system of signs, symbols, or behavior. The benefits of communication are not limited to psychology. They can change the overall experience in daily conversations. According to Stevenson University, the delivering of messages effectively can lessen miscommunication and decrease the likelihood of conflict. According to Richard Jones, 3 types of communication are verbal, in which you speak and the other would have to translate, written communication, in which you have to write and the other would have to read, or nonverbal communication, which mostly entails body language and small signs that you'd have to pick up. Communication is vital in order to smoothly function in society. Moving on to the definition of psychology. Psychology is defined as the study of mind and behavior. Bolton University writes that the relationship between communication and psychology runs deep. Anyone who wants to study in the psychological field should have these skills in place. Fields such as school, clinical, addiction, or rehabilitation psychology heavily require and rely on communication abilities. Moving on to the most beneficial communication forms that most benefit psychological fields. Most people assume that effective communication is how well one can hold a conversation. However, certain forms of communication are more beneficial in some areas more than others. Certain fields of psychology require certain forms of communication, such as one-on-one or counselors, for example. They need effective interpersonal communication skills. Or a professor who would have to stand in front of a large crowd and teach an entire class would have to have good public speaking skills. Or therapists, for example, who often converse with their patients or clients, they would have a very hard time performing their job if they didn't have the proper communication skills to do so. Changing and switching the topic over to the requirement versus the benefits of additional communication courses. Communication is required to further one's education in college. Colleges require one to take communication courses because they understand the importance and value of communication. Many credible colleges require communications or English classes to achieve an associate's degree. The University of Idaho requires social psychology, learning and memory, clinical psychology in order to get a psychological degree. However, these are Idaho's requirements, but many other colleges require around the same amount or same types of credits. Moving on to the benefits of additional communication courses are they can offer tools that you might need to perform the job well. They can offer additional communication skills that are crucial to many forms of psychology and which field you might choose to go into. Now that I've gone over all of this with you, you should be more familiarized with the utilization and connection between psychology and communication. Communication optimizes your job performance and overall experience. I've gone over communication, the definition of communication, the definition of psychology, which forms of communication are most effective in certain fields of psychology, and the benefit versus the requirement for communication courses. Communication is essential for any field in psychology, as well as functioning in society. So people who choose to study in psychology might want to consider that while honing their job skills.